The massive doors of the AGT stage slide open, and a hush sweeps across the entire theater as a young Filipino man steps into the bright spotlight. He isn't dressed like Elvis, nor is he trying to imitate the king's iconic style. Instead, he walks with a quiet, natural confidence, dressed simply, clean shirt, dark pants, a faint sheen of nervous excitement in his eyes. The audience leans forward, sensing something unusual. The stage lights glow softly around him, creating a gentle halo that makes him appear both humble and captivating. For a moment, he just stands there, breathing deeply, clearly gathering his courage. Despite the pressure, there's something undeniably calm about him. Something that tells the audience he's not here to pretend. He's here to reveal a gift. Simon Cowell narrows his eyes, studying him with that signature mixture of curiosity and skepticism. He has seen thousands of hopefuls step onto that very stage, many claiming to be the next big thing. But this contestant speaks softly, introducing himself with honesty and warmth, his Filipino accent carrying naturally into the microphone. The judges listen, trying to read him, trying to guess whether he's shy or simply grounded. "How old are you?" Howie asks. 26, he answers, smiling shyly. "And what will you be performing for us today?" Sophia adds. He hesitates only for a second before replying, a classic from Elvis Presley. The audience reacts instantly, some gasp, some cheer, and some laugh nervously. Performing Elvis on the AGT stage is a bold choice. Many have tried, few have impressed, and even fewer have done the original justice. Simon's eyebrow lifts. It's the kind of eyebrow lift that silently says, "This better be good." But the contestant doesn't flinch. Instead, he adjusts the microphone stand and places his hand over his heart, as if silently dedicating this moment to someone he loves. The stage crew signals. The lights dim slowly until a single spotlight remains, locked on him like a narrow tunnel leading to fate. Backstage, other contestants gather around the monitor. They watch him closely, sensing tension mixed with expectation. A Filipino family stands behind the curtain, clutching each other with nervous pride, praying this moment becomes the one that changes everything. Then the music cue begins, soft at first, like a whisper from the past. The iconic Elvis guitar intro floats through the auditorium. Every head lifts, every heartbeat syncs with the rhythm. The pressure magnifies instantly, the kind of pressure that can crush a performer or ignite them. He closes his eyes for a split second, centering himself. The silence stretches, thick and electric. No one in the audience moves. Even Simon leans forward, hands clasped, studying him intensely. A deep breath, a final pause, and then, the very first note leaves his lips. The moment the first note escapes his lips, the entire atmosphere of the AGT theater transforms. What begins as a simple breath of sound instantly grows into something deep, powerful, and breathtaking. His voice, smooth, velvety, and astonishingly controlled, ripples across the room like a warm wave. It's not just similar to Elvis. It's alive, full of emotion and soul, as if drawn from a place he's been holding inside for years. Every judge snaps into attention. Heidi's eyes widen immediately. She leans back, stunned, her mouth slowly opening as if she can't believe the clarity and richness of what she's hearing. Howie turns his head toward the others, eyebrows raised, silently mouthing, "Wow." Sophia places her hand over her chest as if the voice physically reached her heart. But the most dramatic reaction comes from Simon Cowell. The moment the contestant sings that first line, Simon sits up, both eyebrows lifted, his signature sign of being impressed. He squints, trying to analyze the tone, the breath control, the natural vibrato. But analysis fades quickly as he realizes, this is not just good, this is special. The crowd responds even faster. A ripple of gasps erupts throughout the theater. People shift in their seats, move forward, or simply freeze in place, trying to process the shock of what they're hearing. Several audience members look at each other with disbelief, whispering, "Is this real?" Kids stop fidgeting. Adults stop blinking. It's as if time hits a slow-motion pause. The contestant, meanwhile, continues to sing, but something magical happens. You can see his confidence grow with every note. His posture straightens, his breathing shifts from nervous to controlled, and a subtle smile begins to form at the corners of his mouth. He's no longer a shy performer on a massive stage. He becomes an artist fully stepping into his own power. The lighting team senses the moment and slowly brightens the spotlight. revealing more of his expression as he sings the second verse. His voice glides effortlessly between notes, filled with warmth, depth, and emotion. So authentic that even the Elvis fans in the room begin to cheer. Backstage, the cameras capture his family reacting in real time. His mother covers her mouth, crying softly. His siblings grip each other's arms, stunned. One whispers, "That's my brother," as if seeing him for the first time. A camera crew member steps closer to the monitor, whispering, "This guy is unbelievable." Even the production staff, people who have seen thousands of auditions, look mesmerized. On stage, the contestant's voice continues to build, reaching richer, stronger tones that echo through the auditorium. He's not copying Elvis. He's channeling the spirit, emotion, and story behind the music while adding his own personal depth. This is not imitation. This is reinterpretation with soul. By the end of the second verse, the audience is fully locked in. No one is talking. No one is moving. Everyone, judges, crowd, staff, is frozen in awe, waiting for what comes next. As the contestant transitions into the chorus, everything changes. The calm, controlled energy of the first verses suddenly erupts into a performance that feels larger than life. His voice lifts with power, rich, steady, confident, and the entire auditorium reacts like it's been jolted awake by a bolt of electricity. The first big note of the chorus rings out, and instantly the crowd rises. It's not gradual. It happens like a wave crashing through the theater. A woman in the front row jumps to her feet. A couple in the middle section gasp and begin clapping in rhythm. People who were sitting quietly just moments before are now cheering with their hands in the air. The cameraman in front of the stage struggles to keep the shot steady because the audience behind him is erupting with movement. The contestant glances up, surprised at the reaction, but only for a second. Then he leans into the song even harder, his voice soaring higher as if feeding off the energy being thrown back at him. Simon Cowell, who had been studying him carefully, now looks completely stunned. He slowly tilts his head, squinting as though trying to confirm that this sound, this power, is really coming from the shy Filipino man standing on the stage. His expression shifts from curiosity to shock, then to something almost like admiration. He rests his chin on his hand, silently watching a star unfold in front of him. Sophia stands, clapping above her head, her face glowing with excitement. Heidi stops leaning back and instead leans forward, eyes wide, like she's watching history being made. Howie nods repeatedly, pointing toward the contestant, as if telling the audience, "See? I told you this guy's special." Meanwhile, the crowd becomes louder and louder with every second. The sound is overwhelming, cheers, whistles, shouts of encouragement spilling out in waves. Some fans begin shouting yes every time he hits a strong note. Others record on their phones, capturing the moment they're sure will go viral. Backstage, the reaction is just as intense. Contestants waiting for their turn stop warming up. One dancer freezes mid-stretch. A magician holds his deck of cards still in his hands. They all move toward the monitor, mesmerized by the voice echoing through the hallway speakers. His family is in tears now. His mother wipes her eyes as she whispers prayers of gratitude. His father stands behind her, hands on her shoulders, his chin trembling with pride. One of his siblings jumps up and down backstage, shouting, "That's him! That's my brother up there!" Back on stage, the energy continues to climb. The contestant steps forward, placing one hand on the mic stand as he hits the next big line of the song with breathtaking strength. The auditorium explodes again, this time even louder. People clap in rhythm, stomp their feet, and scream at the top of their lungs. He isn't just singing anymore. He's owning the stage. By the time he finishes the chorus, the entire building feels charged, alive, electric. The crowd has fully surrendered to the performance, and the judges are visibly moved. The once quiet contestant is now commanding the stage like a superstar. And it's clear to everyone watching, this is no ordinary audition. This is a phenomenon. As the chorus fades into the bridge, a new kind of silence fills the auditorium, one that isn't empty but charged, as if everyone knows something incredible is about to happen. The contestant shifts his stance slightly, taking a deeper breath, preparing himself. His eyes close for a moment, and his hand lifts lightly off the microphone stand, floating in the air as though he's guiding the music with every breath. The lighting crew senses the change. The stage dims just enough to focus a sharper, more dramatic spotlight on him. Shadows form around his silhouette, making him appear almost angelic. You can feel the anticipation creeping across the room like a slow, rising tide. Then he begins the final section. His voice, already powerful throughout the performance, becomes something else entirely, bigger, richer, and overflowing with emotion. The kind of emotion that only comes from someone who's lived through real struggle, someone who understands the meaning behind every lyric he sings. Each word vibrates with feeling, sending chills through the audience. Goosebumps spread like wildfire. He hits the first big high note. The audience lets out a collective gasp. It's a note that demands perfection, control, breath, precision, and he nails it effortlessly. Heidi covers her mouth in shock. Sophia looks like she's about to cry. Howie shakes his head, smiling in disbelief at the raw talent unfolding before them. And Simon Cowell leans all the way forward, elbows on the desk, eyes locked onto the contestant. His expression is unreadable for a moment, then slowly turns into something rare for him, pure awe. He watches closely, his face softening, his eyebrows lifting higher the longer the note is held. It's the look Simon gives only when he realizes he's witnessing something unforgettable. The contestant's voice grows stronger as he rises into the climax of the song. The band softens behind him to let his vocals shine even more. Every corner of the room echoes with the brilliance of his performance. The moment feels unreal, like time has slowed down just to let this note live longer. And then comes the note, the one that makes history, the one that breaks through every emotional barrier. He holds it, longer than anyone expects, longer than the judges are prepared for, longer than what seems physically possible. His voice remains steady, unwavering, like a beam of sound carving through the silence. The audience freezes. People literally stop breathing. A shiver runs through the theater so strong that even the backstage crew feels it. As he finally releases the note, the silence shatters. The entire room explodes. Screams burst from every direction. People stand and cheer wildly. Some clap so hard their hands sting. Others jump, shout, whistle, wave their arms, anything to release the overwhelming emotion they just felt. A few in the audience wipe tears from their eyes, completely overwhelmed. Sophia stands instantly, clapping above her head. Heidi follows, emotional and smiling brightly. Howie leaps out of his chair, and Simon, he leans back with a slow, stunned smile, as if he's just discovered a once-in-a-generation voice. This wasn't just a high note. It was a moment of magic, a moment that will be replayed, shared, and remembered forever. The final note has barely faded when the entire auditorium erupts into a deafening roar of applause. People are on their feet, shouting, cheering, holding their heads in disbelief. The contestant lowers the microphone slightly, breathing heavily, overwhelmed by the tidal wave of energy crashing toward him. His hands tremble, not from fear anymore, but from the sheer emotional impact of what just happened. For a few seconds, he stands frozen. Then the reality hits him. He's just delivered the performance of his life. The judges' panel is glowing, literally and figuratively, under the bright stage lights. Sophia is clapping with all her strength, her eyes watery from emotion. Heidi is shaking her head with a huge smile, mouthing, "Amazing, absolutely amazing." Howie gives him a double thumbs up, shouting over the audience noise, "Incredible, incredible." But the entire room waits for one reaction. Simon Cowell. Simon slowly stands up, one hand on the table, the other resting on his hip as he stares at the contestant, with an expression no one can quite read. The audience begins to quiet down, sensing that something important is about to happen. The contestant himself looks uncertain. Was it good enough? Did he impress the hardest man to impress? Simon lifts the microphone to his mouth. His voice is calm, controlled, but filled with something rarely heard from him. "Let me tell you something," Simon begins, pausing as the audience leans in. "In all the years I've sat in this chair, I have never heard anyone sing Elvis like that." A wave of cheers rolls through the crowd, but Simon raises a hand gently to quiet them again. He continues, "You didn't just sing an Elvis song, you brought Elvis back to life, and honestly—" He leans slightly forward, eyes locked on the contestant. "That was better than Elvis." The audience explodes again, louder, wilder, unstoppable. The contestant covers his mouth in disbelief as tears begin to form in his eyes. He looks toward the side of the stage where his family stands. They are crying openly, his mother shaking, his father wiping tears, his siblings jumping and hugging each other. But the moment isn't finished yet. Sophia glances down the panel at the golden buzzer, her face glowing with excitement. Heidi sees her expression and gasps, already realizing what's coming. The crowd senses it too. A hush falls. Sophia places both hands on the buzzer. She looks up at the contestant and says with a smile, "You deserve the world to hear this voice." Boom! The golden buzzer slams down. A burst of golden confetti erupts from above like a waterfall of light. The stage transforms into a sparkling dream. The contestant collapses to his knees, hands covering his face as gold rains over him. His family rushes onto the stage, wrapping their arms around him, crying, laughing, shaking from pure joy. Simon stands with a proud smile, nodding slowly as he watches the moment unfold, one of the greatest moments in AGT history. The contestant, now drenched in gold, looks up into the lights, overwhelmed. This is it. His life has changed forever. A Filipino voice just shook the world.